So today, I'm going to teach you how to make a color wheel using watercolor pencils. And you just need 3 of them: yellow, magenta red, and cyan blue. We'll take something like a cup or a circle and go right to the top of your page, right in the middle, and trace 1 circle to get started. And then we're going to drop down here. We're going to make 2 more circles so they make a shape of a triangle.
Notice how far I spaced the circles apart. I am going to draw 3 more circles in between them later to create a wheel.
So here we have a triangle to get started. I'm going to pick up my yellow watercolor pencil and try to color in this top one as neatly as I can. I don't need to spend forever on it because I'm going to apply water to it soon, and it will smooth out everything. Next, I'll take this magenta red and then finally this cyan blue. Now that I have all 3 of these filled in pretty neatly, I'm going to grab my cup of water and my watercolor brush. Just a little bit of water on the brush, and you'll see when you add water to a watercolor pencil, it changes it into paint. Color becomes richer, fills in everything pretty neatly and solid. I'm going to rinse this brush out. Try the same thing down here with my magenta red. Rinse the brush again. And then one more time here for the cyan blue. Now that I have these 3 primary colors in, yellow, magenta red, cyan blue, I'm going to use my circle tracer again, and I'm going to make 3 more circles. And it's going to make a triangle, and it will also change this into a color wheel. Now that I have these 3 drawn out, I'm going to mix colors together. So I'm going to start over here on this side where I have magenta and yellow, and I'm going to go right between the 2 of them. I'm going to mix these 2 pencils in this circle. I'll start with yellow since it's a little bit lighter. Now I'm going to take the magenta red and add that on top. Trying to use the same pressure I used with yellow. So I have about the same amount of yellow as I do magenta red. Now I'm going to jump over here to this side and do the same thing, but this time it's going to be mixing yellow and cyan blue together. Finally, I'll jump down here. On this bottom circle, I'm going to mix together magenta red and cyan blue. Now that I have these three filled in, I'm going to use the wet brush again and magically watch as these colors begin to mix together. So here we go. There's yellow and magenta red mixing together to make orange. Rinse my brush out. Rinse it one more time. So here we go. I have my original primary colors of magenta red, yellow, cyan blue, and then I mixed them together to get my secondary colors, orange, green, and purple. Now that we have this color wheel finished, a little bit of a challenge. So we have the primaries and we have the secondaries. And there is another layer of colors. You might think it would be called thirdary. Actually called the tertiary colors. Sometimes they're called the intermediate colors. And this will be a mixture of a primary and a secondary together. So I'm using this circle tracer. It's a little bit smaller than the first one. And I'm drawing one in between each of the primaries and the secondaries for a total of 6. Now for the challenging part, to do this with only the primary colored pencils. So the trick to doing this is how much you use of each. If I start here, I want to mix yellow and orange together. So I'll start with yellow again first, since it's a little bit lighter. And I also want a little bit more yellow this time than the magenta red. So I have a good bit of yellow here. This time when I add the magenta red, I'm not going to add a ton of it. So I'm going to push really lightly. So this will eventually mix to make yellow-orange. Now down here for this one, it's going to be a mixture of magenta red and yellow, but it's going to be more red this time. So I will start with it, add a bit more this time. So I pushed a little bit harder this time with the red, and now with the yellow, I'll just add a little bit of it. Now if I jump over here, same thing. I'll start with yellow on this side. And instead of adding equal amounts of blue, this time just a little bit of this cyan blue. And now for this one here, I'll start with blue. And now just a little bit of the yellow on top of it. So last two down here, I'm gonna mix red first. And now just a little bit of the blue on top. Then finally this circle over here, I have blue down first. Good bit of blue. And now just a little bit of this magenta red on top. Now that I have each of these filled in, I'm just going to take my brush, get it clean, a little drop of water on it, and now we'll make these colors come to life. So this should make this combination of mostly yellow, a little tiny bit of the red, will make a yellow-orange. Yellow-green. Red-orange. Blue-green. Red-violet. And blue-violet.